Welcome back to the video classes, dear students. In this class, we shall recall how the water, it will be translocated inside the plants for a longer distance. So in this session, we shall discuss about the long distance transport of water. See, as you all know, water is very essential for the plants to carry out their, to perform their daily metabolic activities or functions. And thus, you also know that there is only one organ which is present in the plant that is related in the absorption of water. So, which organ in the plant is involved in the absorption of water? It is the root, especially the root hairs. So, the thin thread-like structures which arises from the epidermal cells, so those are called as root hairs. They will be involved in the absorption of water and minerals, and thus this absorbed water now it enters into the stele of this root, and from here through the xylem what happens, this absorbed water will be translocated to various parts of the plant body like branches, stem, branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, everything. So like this, this is how water inside the plant it should be transported. And the physiological process which is involved in the transportation of water inside these plants over such a long distance is just not possible by a process called as diffusion, because diffusion, it is a very slow process, and due to diffusion the substances may transport, they may move over shorter distances, that's all. That is within the cell or in between the cells there might be the exchange of materials by the process called as diffusion. But if water has to move over, if it has to translocate over longer distances, it is occurring only through the conducting tissues like xylem. So xylem, it is a water conducting tissue. And thus this absorbed water, it will be reaching to the various parts of the plant body through the xylem tissue. And this absorbed water inside the plant, this absorbed water by the root hairs inside the plant, it will be translocated, it will be reaching the xylem inside the roots by two various pathways. See, once again I'll go through it. Roots, they are the only organs which are positively geotrophic in nature. So inside the roots, there will be having stele, inside which xylem and phloem will be present. And from the epidermal cells arises thin thread-like structures called as root hairs. They are involved in the absorption of water and mineral nutrients. So once the root hairs are involved in the absorption of water and mineral nutrients, it has to travel inside the plant. So this translocation of water, it takes place in two different steps. So one is the absorption of water. If the water has to move over the plant body, it takes place in two steps. So the step number is, one is absorption of water. If water is absorbed, then only water can enter inside the plant body. And after the absorption of water, there will be the upward movement of water. So the long distance transport of water, it occurs in two different steps. So step number one is absorption of water, and step number two is upward movement of water. So what happens? How does this absorption of water takes place? We shall know now that. See, I told you root hairs, they are the structures which are involved in the absorption of water and mineral nutrients. So once these root hairs absorbs water and mineral nutrients, this absorbed water, it should now reach xylem, because xylem is the only conducting tissue which can transport water throughout the length of the plant body. And thus this absorbed water from the soil, it reaches to the xylem in two different pathways. So how many pathways? It will be reaching the xylem inside the roots in two different pathways like symplast and apoplast. So what are the two distinct pathways which water reaches to the xylem? It reaches in two different pathways. That is, one is symplast and the other one is apoplast. See, this is the picture of a cross section of the root. So it is the cross section of the root, and this helps you to identify the movement of water. See, this is the root hair. This is the root hair. So these are the epidermal cells. So we call it as epiplast, and then comes the cortex, which is made up of parenchyma cells, and then comes endodermis, which is circular in nature, and then comes pericycle, and then xylem as well as phloem. So here these root hairs are involved in the absorption of water and mineral nutrients. So once this water is absorbed, this absorbed water now has to reach the xylem. So now it has to reach the xylem so that through the xylem, the translocation of water, it may take place. But how does this water reach the xylem? So this absorbed water reaches the xylem in two different pathways. One is apoplast pathway and the other one is the symplast pathway. So what do you mean by apoplast and symplast? See, the term apoplast, it denotes the non-living parts of the cells. So the term apoplast denotes the non-living substances of the cell like cell wall. See, this absorbed water in this pathway, what happens is the absorbed water, once it reaches the root hair, so now this absorbed water will pass through the intercellular spaces. You people know that inside the cortex, these parenchyma cells are loosely arranged. They will be having space in between the cells. The space which exists between the cells is called as intercellular spaces. So this absorbed water, if it is passing through the intercellular spaces along the cell walls, this pathway of movement of water is called as apoplast. So what do we call it as? It is called as apoplastic pathway. It is called as apoplastic pathway. And this movement of water, it does not involve the crossing of water through the cells. So here water will not enter inside the cell. Say for example, let me write the cells. So if the cells are like this in the cortex, water will move through the intercellular spaces like that. Do you observe this? So here water is moving across the intercellular spaces through the cell walls. That means here water is not entering inside the cell. And this apoplast movement of water, it will be faster. Why? Because water need not to enter inside the cell, and hence this pathway of movement of water, due to this, water will be reaching the xylem at a faster rate, at a faster pace. Now let us know what is symplast. So symplast in the sense, here the movement of water takes place. Here how does the movement of water take place? See, root hairs are involved in the absorption of water and mineral nutrients. But this absorbed water, it will reach into the cell. So what is, where is water moving? It is reaching inside the cell. So through the plasmodesmatal connections, water will be moving from one cell to the other cell like this. And thus in symplast pathway, what happens? Water enters inside the cell. See here. Here in case of apoplast, water did not enter inside the cell. Instead, water, it was translocating, it was transporting through the intercellular spaces along the cell wall. But in case of symplast, what happens is water molecules moves into the cell. If it has to move into the cell, it will enter through the plasmodesmatal connections only. What do you mean by plasmodesmatal connections? So it is the tiny connections which are present in between the cells so that these cells can communicate with each other. That means there will be a movement of substances or exchange of substances taking place between the cells through these connections. So this is called as plasmodesmatal connections. So in symplast pathway, there will be the movement of water which enters inside the cell, and from one cell to the other cell, water will be reaching to the other cell through this plasmodesmatal connections. So as the water is entering into the cytoplasm, so it takes place at a slow rate. Why? Because cell membrane has to permit the entry of water. Cell membrane or plasma membrane, it is selectively permeable membrane. It is semi-permeable in nature. So it should allow the movement of this water from one cell to another cell, and thus it takes time. when compared to the apoplast. When compared to the apoplast, and thus there may be some restrictions over here, and thus apoplast movement of water, it takes place at a faster rate when compared to the symplast. So symplast, it occurs at a slower pace as the water has to enter inside the cell through the cell membrane. And symplastic pathway, inside the symplastic pathway, even water may move through the cytoplasmic stream. Say for example, if water now from this cell, now water has reached this cell, and through the semi-permeable membrane water has entered inside the cell, and there is one more cell located here. So now this water molecule has to reach here. So in such cases what happens? Cytoplasmic streaming may also occur. What do you mean by cytoplasmic streaming? Cytoplasmic streaming, the word itself is saying the cytoplasm, it moves from here towards here. So all the cytoplasmic contents, it will be moving inside the cell, so that water will be reached, it will move from this side of the cell towards this side, and thus through the plasmodesmatal connection, now water will enter into the next cell. So like this is how symplastic movement of water occurs, and it also occurs along the concentration gradient. What do you mean by concentration gradient? Always water moves from the region of its higher water potential towards the region of its lower water potential. That means inside the soil water content will be more, and thus water potential will also be more when compared to inside of the roots. So inside the roots water content will be less, water potential will be less, and thus the cytoplasmic streaming also occurs on this basis only, and absorption of water also occurs on this basis only, and thus absorption of water, it always occurs along the concentration gradient from the region of its higher water potential, higher concentration towards the region of its lower concentration. So now you came to know that the absorbed water from the root hairs, now it will reach to the xylem in two different pathways. One is apoplastic movement. So one is apoplastic movement and the other one is symplastic movement. However, so through the symplastic movement, what happens? Now this water which is present in the cortical cell, that is parenchyma cell, now it enters into the cytoplasm of endodermis. See, where here I'll show. See, here lies endodermis. Here lies the endodermis, and here there is a cortex, and here assume this as epidermis, and here there is a root hair. So now water has been absorbed, and through this, if water reaches through the intercellular spaces, this is called as apoplastic movement, and if water enters inside the cell, so this is called as symplastic pathway. So now this absorbed water, now it has reached, it has passed through the parenchyma cells of cortex, and now it has reached the endodermis. So this is the endodermis, and then comes the pericycle, and then here somewhere xylem is present. Assume this as xylem. So now this water has to reach xylem. So to reach the xylem, through the symplast, what happens? This water which is present in the cytoplasm of this parenchyma cell, now it enters into the endodermal cell. So it is a parenchyma cell only. So through the plasmodesmatal connection, now this water which is present in the cytoplasm of this cell now reaches into the cytoplasm of endodermis, and from here through the pericycle it crosses and then finally reaches to the xylem. Once it reaches to the xylem, so xylem it conducts the water to the different parts of the plant body. So in symplastic pathway, this is how the water conduction takes place. Absorption of water takes place. Whereas in apoplast, I told you apoplast in the sense here water will not enter inside the cytoplasm. Instead, water will be moving through the intercellular spaces. But once it reaches the endodermis, so once it reaches the endodermis, it has to move through the cytoplasm of the endodermis only. So here apoplastic pathway is not permitted. So here the water, it cannot pass through the cell walls of endodermal cells. Why? Means there is a lining suberin layer coating present on this endodermal cells. So there is a suberin layer present. So this suberin, it is water hating in nature. It is waterproof in nature. As it is waterproof in nature, suberin will not allow the apoplastic movement of water through the cell wall of these endodermal cells. And thus, in such case, what happens is, so this apoplastic movement, water which is moving through the intercellular spaces, as soon as it reaches the endodermal cells, now it changes its pathways from apoplast towards symplast. That means water which is present in the cell wall, near the cell wall or intercellular spaces, now it enters into the cytoplasm of endodermal cells, and then finally it reaches the xylem. Again here it may be symplast or apoplastic movement. But however, if water has to cross through the endodermis, so always water should move inside the cell. So that means the transportation of water through the endodermis is always symplast in nature. Why? Due to the presence of suberin, and thus as the water is changing its pathway from apoplast to symplast, this one is called as transmembrane pathway. What do we call for that? It is called as transmembrane pathway. Hope you understood. So if you have any doubts, let me know in the WhatsApp group. And here is the diagrammatic representation of the pathway of movement of water. So here I have just taken one cell. This cell as epidermis. So this is the epidermis. Outermost region is called as epidermis. In this we have taken one cell, and then this box, it indicates the cortical cells, and then comes endodermis. So this one. So this is the endodermis, and then comes pericycle. So here you have already studied about these cells, different kinds of cells in anatomy. So now this pericycle I have indicated here. So let me focus all these three diagrams so that you can easily recall again. Okay, so now water which has been absorbed by the root hairs. So if this water enters into the cytoplasm, and through the cytoplasmic streaming, there will be a connection existing between these two cells called as plasmodesmatal connections. So from here again, through the plasmodesmatal connections, if water enters into the cytoplasm of cortex, and then again if it reaches the endodermis, so this is called as symplast. So what do we call for this? This movement is called as symplast. So till endodermis we shall discuss now. And then if the absorbed water reaches the cell wall spaces, so the intercellular spaces, so along the cell wall, if the water molecules moves, see through the cell wall, now it reaches again the plasma membrane. So this will be the plasma membrane again through the cortical cells. So these are the parenchyma cells. So through the cell wall or intercellular spaces, if the water is traveling till endodermis, so this is called as apoplastic movement. So through the cell walls or intercellular spaces, if water enters, if water transports, that is called as apoplastic movement. So in apoplast, water will never enter into the cytoplasm till endodermis. That's all. As soon as water reaches the endodermis, if water has to cross this endodermal region, see, in symplast there is no problem. So water from the cortical cytoplasm reaches the endodermis, and through this cytoplasmic streaming, water enters into the pericycle. So cytoplasm of pericycle, and from here it reaches the xylem. So no problem during the symplastic movement. But problem is in the apoplast. See, I told you in apoplast water will not enter into the cytoplasm. Instead, water will move or travel along the intercellular spaces. So if during this apoplastic movement, from the root hairs, water will be traveling through the cell wall of epidermal cells and then through the parenchyma cells, and then as soon as it reaches the endodermis, so here this Casparian strips, so that suberin which is deposited inside the endodermal cells, like this, so it will be radially and transversely arranged, it will be deposited. So this is called as the Casparian strip. What do we call it as? It is called as the Casparian strip. So as the thickenings are present, water cannot cross through this Casparian strip because it is water hating. So it will not allow the passage of transportation of water through this Casparian strip, and thus water, it does not have any other choice, and thus water has to change its pathway from apoplast to symplast. That means it was moving through the intercellular spaces till now, and as soon as it reaches the Casparian strips, so due to no other choice, now water has to enter inside the cytoplasm of endodermis, and this change of pathway of movement of water is called as transmembrane. It is called as transmembrane pathway. So it is called as transmembrane pathway, and as soon as it reaches the cytoplasm of endodermis, so through the cytoplasmic streaming, it reaches pericycle, and from here xylem, it reaches the xylem. So once water reaches the xylem, now upward movement of water takes place, which is the second step in long distance transport of water. See, long distance transport of water, it occurs in two different steps. I told you, one is absorption. Step number 1 is absorption, and step number 2 is upward movement of water. So in absorption of water, this absorbed water will be reaching the xylem in two different pathways. One is symplast and the other one is apoplast. So we have discussed about the symplast as well as apoplast, which is very, very important. And as soon as the water reaches the xylem either by symplast or apoplast, now this water has to be transported to various other parts of the plant body throughout the length of the plant body. So there we will be studying about the second step in the long distance transport of water, that is the upward movement of water. So we shall know the differences between apoplast and symplast pathway. See, in apoplast, it consists of non-living parts like cell wall. So water will be moving along the cell walls or intercellular spaces. And then in symplast pathway, water has to cross the cells through the plasmodesmatal connections. So in between the two cells, there will be plasmodesmatal connections, and through this water will be moving from one cell to another cell. As water has to cross the cells, so here there will be a cell membrane present. So you people know that outermost rigid layer of the cell is called as cell wall, and it is followed by cell membrane or plasma membrane. So if the water has to pass from one cell to another, water has to cross the cell membrane while leaving the cell, and also when it is entering the cell also it has to cross this cell membrane. And you know that cell membrane will not allow all the molecules or substances to pass through it. So it is selectively permeable in nature. So it is semi-permeable in nature, and thus it takes a lot of time. And thus as the water has to cross through the cell membrane while it is leaving the cell and also entering the cell, it takes a lot of time, and thus it is slower in nature. And thus there will also be resistance occurring through the movement of water. Whereas in apoplast, that is not the case, because water, it does not have to enter inside the cell. So as it is moving through the intercellular spaces, very negligible resistance is occurring there. As a result, it is faster in nature. And thus this metabolic state of root does not affect this apoplastic pathway, whereas metabolic state of root, it directly affects the symplast pathway.